The futuristic military academy was alive with energy. Alien cadets of all shapes and sizes trained under harsh neon lights. Metallic walls echoed with the sounds of clashing weapons and shouted orders. At the center of it all, a notorious alien bully prowled like a predator, looking for weakness. His eyes landed on a human cadet, small but steady, standing quietly in the corner. The human didn't look scared. He didn't flinch. That alone made the bully's yellow eyes narrow with irritation. Slowly, the bully approached, moving with an arrogant swagger. Alien cadets nearby whispered and watched, curious and fearful. "Hey, Earthling!" the bully hissed, his armored fingers tapping the human's shoulder. "Think you belong here?" The human remained silent, only staring back. His calm gaze made the bully uneasy, but he didn't show it. Instead, he smirked and pushed the human's shoulder hard, expecting him to stumble. Other cadets laughed. Some recorded the scene with floating devices. But the human didn't fall. He steadied himself, chest rising and falling calmly. Sweat dripped down his brow, but there was no fear in his eyes, only something colder, sharper, like a blade hidden beneath calm water. The bully's smirk faded. "You're asking for trouble," he growled, shoving him again. The human barely moved, almost as if he had anticipated it. His foot slid slightly, catching the wall, and he balanced perfectly, ready. The other cadets froze. Even the distant instructor noticed the commotion and started running toward them, but the corridor was too long. By the time he arrived, the confrontation could already explode into chaos. The audience feels it, tension thick in the air, sparks of anticipation from every corner. Everyone wondered, would the human finally fight back, or would he remain quiet under the bully's pressure? In that moment, the academy seemed to hold its breath. The human's jaw tightened, and a faint glow appeared in his eyes under the harsh lights. Something had changed. The bully had gone too far, and the calm human might not be as defenseless as everyone thought. The alien bully's smirk lingered for only a moment. He shoved the human cadet harder this time, expecting him to stumble or cry out. But the human didn't flinch. His small frame barely moved, as if he had predicted every motion. The hallway seemed to freeze around them. The other cadets watched in awe. Some whispered, "He's just a human. He can't fight back, right?" Others hesitated, sensing that something was about to change. The distant instructor's footsteps echoed closer, but he was still too far to help. The human's eyes glowed faintly in the neon light. He clenched his fists, muscles tensing. Then, with lightning speed, he sidestepped the bully's next push and grabbed the alien's arm, twisting it behind his back. The bully hissed in surprise and pain. Alien cadets gasped. The human's calm, controlled strength shocked everyone, even those who had seen aliens much stronger than humans. "Not so fast," the human muttered, voice low but firm. Every word carried the weight of confidence and warning. The bully tried to retaliate, swinging his free arm, but the human blocked it with perfect timing, using the bully's own momentum against him. The metallic corridor rang with the clash of armored limbs and grunts of surprise. Sparks flew as the bully's claw scraped the wall, leaving deep scratches. The cadets' whispers turned to wide-eyed gasps. For the first time, the human wasn't the victim, he was in control. The instructor's pace quickened, but he could only see the chaos unfolding from the distance. The tension was electric. It wasn't just about strength, it was about precision, courage, and the refusal to submit. The human's calm fury and tactical movements made it clear, aliens might be stronger, but humans were unpredictable, and deadly when cornered. The bully stumbled back, shocked, and realized he had underestimated this human. Every cadet in the corridor felt it. The balance of power had shifted. The story of the weak human being bullied was ending, and a new story was beginning, one where humanity would not back down, no matter the odds. The human cadet's calm fury turned the hallway into chaos. With a sudden, powerful move, he slammed the alien bully against the metallic wall. Sparks erupted where the armor met metal, and a loud clang echoed through the corridor. The bully's yellow eyes widened in shock, his armored body trembling from the force. Alien cadets scattered in all directions. Some froze in fear, unable to look away. Others whispered among themselves, their devices floating as they recorded the confrontation. For the first time, they saw a human defy an alien bully with sheer strength and precision. The human didn't pause. Sweat dripped from his brow, blood from a minor scrape on his arm glinting under the neon lights. Every movement was calculated, controlled, yet filled with raw power. His eyes glowed faintly, reflecting determination, focus, and the refusal to be intimidated. The distant instructor had arrived at the far end of the corridor. His heavy footsteps echoed, but it was too late. He could only watch as the human maintained complete control of the fight. Chaos ruled the corridor, alarms blared, lights flickered, and debris from minor collisions floated in the air. The bully struggled, claws scraping against the wall, but the human held him firmly. Every attempt to resist only proved the human's skill and tactical thinking. The alien cadets realized something important. Humans were not weak. Unpredictable, yes. Dangerous, absolutely. In the background, the metallic walls of the academy were scratched and dented, evidence of the escalating conflict. Smoke and flickering lights created shadows that danced across the corridor, making the human appear even more imposing. Cadets whispered to each other, "He's just a human, but he's unstoppable." The bully's arrogance had completely vanished. The story of a small, powerless human being bullied was over. Now, everyone in the academy understood one terrifying truth. Underestimate humanity at your own risk. The scene froze in tension, sparks, sweat, and fear suspended in the air, as the human prepared for the next move, proving that even alone, humans could strike back with unmatched power. The corridor was still shaking from the impact. The alien bully lay pressed against the metallic wall, struggling and hissing, his arrogance shattered. The small human cadet stood firm, chest rising and falling steadily, sweat dripping down his face, eyes glowing faintly under the flickering neon lights. Around them, the alien cadets were frozen in disbelief. Some whispered nervously to each other, their floating recording devices shaking slightly as they captured the chaos. For the first time, many of them realized humans were unpredictable, fast, strong, and smart. Some had laughed at humans before. Now they hesitated. A few of the bully's alien friends tried to step in, ready to defend him. But the human moved with precision, blocking attacks before they could land. Every strike was calculated, every motion controlled. It was more than strength, it was skill and determination. The hallway became a blur of sparks, dust, and motion as the human held his ground against multiple opponents. The instructor finally reached the scene, breathing heavily. He raised his hand, signaling for calm, but it was clear he was too late to stop the fight. All he could do was watch. Even he, an experienced trainer, could feel the raw power and courage emanating from the human. The bully tried one last desperate attack, clawing wildly, but the human sidestepped and countered with a movement so quick it seemed impossible. The alien's balance faltered, and he crashed against the wall again. Silence swept the corridor for a heartbeat, broken only by the hum of flickering lights and the distant alarms. The other cadets, even those who had bullied humans before, now looked on with a mix of fear and awe. The story of humans being weak in the academy was over. Every alien in that hallway could see it. Humans were not just survivors, they were warriors. The human didn't gloat. He only stared at the defeated bully, veins visible on his forehead, every muscle tense. His calm determination sent a message to everyone present: underestimate humanity at your own risk. The balance of power had shifted, and the academy would never look at humans the same way again. The corridor was filled with chaos, sparks, dust, and the sounds of armor clashing against metal. The human cadet stood in the center, muscles tense, eyes glowing faintly under flickering neon lights. Sweat dripped down his face, blood streaked his arm, but he moved with calm precision. The alien bully, now humiliated and trembling, tried one last desperate attack. Claws swung wildly, but the human anticipated every strike. With lightning-fast reflexes, he sidestepped and countered, sending the bully crashing into the wall again. Sparks erupted where claws met metal, echoing through the corridor. Alien cadets froze in shock. Even the ones who had laughed at humans before now looked on with fear and awe. The distant instructor had arrived at the edge of the scene, breath heavy, hand raised, but there was nothing he could do. The human was fully in control. The bully's friends tried to jump in, hoping to save him, but the human's calculated movements made them hesitate. Every strike, every dodge, every block was perfect. His strength alone wasn't enough. It was his intelligence, his speed, and his courage that made him unstoppable. The tension was electric. Sparks flew from walls, alarms blared, and the hallway seemed to tremble with the intensity of the fight. The bully realized he had underestimated the human completely. The fear in his yellow eyes was undeniable. For the first time in the academy, humans were not just participants. They were a force to be reckoned with. The cadets whispered among themselves, floating devices capturing every second. "Humans are dangerous," one muttered. The human's jaw tightened. He didn't strike for victory alone. He was sending a message. Humans were not weak, they were precise, clever, and fearless. The corridor, once full of intimidation and bullying, now belonged to him. The balance of power had shifted. The story of the bullied human was over. From this moment on, the Academy, and anyone who underestimated humanity, would remember one thing: humans could strike back, and strike. The alien bully lay defeated against the metallic corridor wall, panting and trembling. His yellow eyes, once filled with arrogance, now glimmered with fear and disbelief. The human cadet stood tall, chest rising and falling steadily, veins visible on his forehead, eyes glowing faintly under the flickering neon lights. Every movement he had made was precise, controlled, and powerful, a message written in action, not words. The alien cadets around them watched in silence. Some whispered to each other, recording devices floating as they captured the scene. For the first time, they saw humans as more than fragile creatures. They were clever, relentless, and unstoppable when cornered. The hallway, once full of bullying and intimidation, now belonged to the human. The distant instructor finally reached them, heavy breathing echoing in the metallic corridor. He raised a hand, signaling calm, and approached carefully. Even he had to acknowledge the human's skill and courage. "You've shown them what humanity can do," he said, voice firm but filled with respect. The defeated bully tried to rise but collapsed again. His pride shattered, his arrogance gone. No gloating came from the human cadet. He only looked at the alien with calm determination, showing that strength was not about cruelty. It was about courage and intelligence. Other cadets, once laughing and mocking humans, now looked on with awe. Some whispered, "We underestimated them, we were wrong." The humans' actions had changed the academy forever. Humans were no longer just outsiders. They were warriors, capable of facing overwhelming odds and standing tall. The human turned and walked away, calm but strong, leaving the bully and the shocked cadets behind. Every step echoed in the metallic corridor, a reminder that humans would fight, survive, and strike back when pushed too far. In that moment, the story of a bullied human ended. The legend of humanity's strength had just begun, a warning to anyone who thought humans were weak. Underestimate humanity, and you would pay the price. Coward.